Okie dokie, it's exactly 5 a.m. on April the 28th. No, scrap that, reverse. April the 29th. The sun is about to do that thing it has been doing for how many billions of years? How many millions? Is it millions or billions? Is anybody actually counting? Anyway, the sun is about to do its thing. It's going to rise up into the sky like a magic trick. And with the same kind of magic, I'm going to make a break for it across the mountains over to San Carlos and see if I can get to Cebu. Yabba dabba doo! 25 past 5. And some sunset. You're some scallywag to be driving around without a helmet, aren't you? Oh yeah. I'll put it on now in a minute, sure.
Set one coffee. 25 for 5 only, sir.
Okay, so she's about 6:30. We're not doing too bad now. Stopped off for some coffee and some noodles in a small restaurant on the outskirts of Arshia. So, I was talking a little bit lately about a kind of a funk. I don't like to call it a depression. I don't like to say things like I am depressed or I am sad. You're just feeding into it then. The Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body. If you were to start identifying with those feelings, you're on a slippery slope. Nevertheless, it's only part of the human condition that we go through periods from time to time where we feel something like a funk. The way it manifested for me, or the way it manifests for me, look at that. Happy cow having a little bit of breakfast. Is that tasty? I wonder, does that cow have any depression? Is that cow sad today? It reminded me actually of another thing that Eckhart Tolle was talking about. Described like a gazelle. See, when a gazelle gets caught by the lion, what would be the thoughts going through its head? This is so unfair! This is not fair at all! I shouldn't be eaten by a lion today. He talks about accepting the isness of the moment, like that cow having a bit of grass for breakfast. Anyway, I was talking about the funk, right? And part of the human condition is that from time to time we do have feelings of sadness. I was having a horizontal party. I couldn't even get vertical, and she surely couldn't stand up. How are you feeling today? Are you okay for work? I'm not. Are you sure? I'm absolutely 100% sure. So I can't even stand up. Anyway, this is my work. Driving across the mountains on my way to Cebu. So I'm going to make a decision when I come down out of these mountains, when I go to San Carlos and get the ferry over to Cebu, or will I continue on down and then cross over to Malbal? Oh, decisions. It's a good day to be alive. umaga. Look at the size of that thing. Okay, it's close enough down to 12 o'clock. There is a 12 o'clock meeting in Cebu and I'm racing against the clock to get there. I probably won't be there for the start of it, but maybe I'll arrive halfway through. It's not too hot now for a nice drive like this through the mountains. You know, James Dean said, live fast, die young, and leave a beautiful corpse. And that's kind of the logic when you're in the act of addiction, caught up in the getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. You think to yourself, well, if Amy Winehouse and James Dean and Kurt Cobain and all these other people lived fast, died young and left behind beautiful corpses, then why shouldn't I do the same? What's the point in living a long life in the pursuit of material things? And then when you come into recovery, a little bit like, let's say, addiction gives birth to fear and loathing. And then fear and loathing perpetuates addiction in a cycle that's like the wheel on your bike as you race down a hill 60 kilometers an hour, 70 kilometers an hour, and then you realize there's no brakes. The realization you have no brakes might be at the same time you realize that you can't even moderate. You try and do 1 day here, 2 days there. You can't even get 1 day clean. So now you're tearing down a hill faster than the speed of light. You're gonna make a supersonic man out of me. In the words of Freddie Mercury. You fall off your bike and you splatter across the pavement. Now you've come to your first meeting and you're realizing what denial was all about. It's not just a river in Egypt. It was so strong for so long that you had attached yourself to the idea that there's nothing wrong with joining the 27 Club. And then when you're in here for any length of time, you begin to realize the pure value of serenity. Waking up in the morning and feeling at ease, knowing that you don't have to do anything. You're not going to get a mysterious knock on the door from the boys in blue. You're able to hold down a job. Your finances are now manageable. And maybe you can sustain relationships, or you've learned enough to know when to walk away from them. Or at least not to be caught up, entangled in people, places and things. And you learn something new every day when you meet different people in different places. There was a fella who said there last week, when it comes to people, it's like a pendulum. And when that pendulum swings to the furthest extremity at the right hand side, you are self-centered, you are selfish, you are borderline narcissistic. And that pendulum will swing back down around all the way over to the right. At its most extreme point, you are codependent. You believe that somebody else has the key to your happiness, and you need that person in your life to bring you happiness. So he says that at the center point, when the pendulum is resting, you are interdependent. You don't have attachment to people like you did before. You still have love for people, but your ability to adapt boundaries is natural. And so I like that analogy of the pendulum, because we can become just as addicted to people, places and things as we can be to our drug of choice. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. That's 5 minutes of my gibberish.